Sat Sri Akal to everyone. Welcome to our 8th serial. Looks like we might be going up to 10 because this is encompasses everything that we are, and it's definitely going to take at least up to serial number 10 to conclude this series. For those of us who are well wishers of the Panth and would like to see progress and growth, would like to live or rather deliver on our Guru's expectations and our Guru's dreams and hopes for their sacrifices. They sacrificed for humanity. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji gave his life for humanity. Guru Arjan Dev Ji gave his life for humanity. And we are not taking this anything beyond Punjab and beyond Punjabis. So now I'm going to ask one question. If this dharma is so great, like I have been painting this amazing picture over the last few serials, so why is it nobody is interested in it? Why is it going nowhere? Why is it 300 years after the creation of the Khalsa and 500 years after the creation of the Sikh, we are stagnated, we are stunted, we are going nowhere? No one even knows who we are. In America, they are happily killing Sikhs, thinking that we are Muslims. Supposed to be the most connected nation on earth. They have all the technology, they have all TVs, everything. Supposed to be people who will be the most informed, and even they don't know who Sikh is. So my question was, if Sikhi is so great, the people like Bertrand Russell can say that if there is a third world war, only Sikhi can either prevent it, or after the third world war, it's the only way of life that can bring humanity together. So why aren't we going anywhere? I'll tell you the reason. The reason is, I put some notes here. See, Guru Nanak preached a universal dharma. I use the word dharma. Today I will use the word dharma. In other sessions, sometimes I'll use the word religion, because people mostly understand what is religion, they don't understand what is dharma. Dharma means a way of life. The master teaches you the principles of living. You go and live your life the way best suited to you. You don't have to wear Punjabi suit. You don't have to wear Khalsa Bana to be a Sikh. You can live in any part of the world. You practice according to your cultural, your geographical, your racial or whatever religious practices that you may have. You incorporate these beliefs and this understanding of spaceship Earth. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji created a universal dharma. He was just as comfortable preaching in Hardwar, in Banaras, in Bodh Gaya, where Buddha got his enlightenment. He was just as comfortable preaching in Baghdad, in Makkah, in Medina. You could take him anywhere and he was just as comfortable. Mysterious? Yeah, it should be mysterious for us. Because what have we done? We changed it into a religion. After the Gurus were gone, we put the Dharma aside, we created a religion. And since the day we created the religion, a topic which I will be going on to very, very soon, you will see what happened. See, everything that came out of India was Dharma. Hinduism is a Dharma. Buddhism is a Dharma. Jainism is a Dharma. They teach you the principles. They don't have Rahat Maryada. This is the mistake we made. After the Gurus were gone, we created a Rahat Maryada 80 years ago. We will go into that as a separate topic. We will go into that as a separate. Our Gurus didn't create it. Our Gurus, sorry, I don't want to spoil the other session. Okay, let's go back to this. Our Guru created a universal dharma that can fit not only into any country, any culture, any race, that it can fit into 1,000 years from now, 2,000 years from now. till eternity. There is no further need of this world of a prophet anymore. Guru Nanak is the last final prophet. It's interesting that I wasn't supposed to raise this today, but I'm going to mention this today. You know, all of us, I will say all, I dare to say all, we are not aware that when Dalai Lama was asked this question, which is the greatest religion on this earth? Dalai Lama, I expect everyone would know who's Dalai Lama. You know what was his answer? You know what was his answer? His answer was, why are you asking me? Ask Guru Nanak. Ask Guru Nanak. The Dalai Lama's answer was, ask Guru Nanak. What do you think the Dalai Lama is thinking? Something else that the Sikh Panth may not be aware of, which now those who have seen that video, about 2 years ago we received the video, I kept the video. It's actually a lady from the Phoenix Museum in the United States, Arizona, and she's giving a talk, a 30-minute talk to an audience inside the museum. I think they had a special day to introduce Sikhi or something for the people of Arizona. So they had a special session there, and there's people sitting in the audience, Gore and all that, and they are listening to a talk on Sikhi. And you know what she's telling them? She actually did her homework. She said first, before she started this section, she's the curator there, the head of the museum. She said before she started this section on the Sikh, she knew nothing about Sikhi. But because a very wealthy Sikh family wanted to sponsor this section inside their museum, and she accepted, and all this happened, she started to study Sikhi. And you know what she found? She said, everybody talks about Dalai Lama, this and all that. She said the Dalai Lama tradition, when she did her calculation of dates, started in Tibet after Guru Nanak Dev Ji's visit, after he spoke to the lamas of Tibet. Then she goes on to give other examples of where there is so much of overlap. And until today, she goes on to mention, I think it was in her article or it's another video, where they show the number of Buddhist lamas and disciples and who go to Harimandir Sahib for darshan until today. It is a very sacred place for them. They associate with Guru Nanak. They have a name for him in Tibetan. I can't recall that name. He's called a lama in the Tibetan jargon, in their language. So this is why the reason why Dalai Lama would answer like that. Say, why are you asking me, which is the greatest religion on earth? Ask Guru Nanak. And then, as you know, Tagore, Rabindranath Tagore, when was asked, why don't you have created such a beautiful national anthem for India, why don't you create a national anthem for the whole world? And what was his answer? He says, Guru Nanak already done it. Why should I reinvent the wheel? Gagan Mein Thal Rav is the one national universal anthem that Guru Nanak has already created. And this is what our gurus were. You know, they were just so great. The philosophers and the wise men of the world, they know about Guru Nanak and they have understood. We didn't understand. We didn't understand. And of course, the world didn't understand. Because we failed to deliver it. You see, what we did, we took this Dharma and made it into we changed the universal worldview into a Punjabi worldview. We took the universal worldview. This Shri Guru Granth Sahib Bani was supposed to spread around the earth like a drop of oil spreads on a plate of water. This is Guru Arjan Dev Ji's words. Sorry, I made the mistake the last time I said Guru Tegh Bahadur. It's actually Guru Arjan Dev Ji's. I will show it to you. Hopefully the next session I might remember to show the text to you. And Guru said it will spread, and this Shri Guru Granth Sahib was supposed to spread like that. But we turned it into a Punjabi worldview. The tunnel that I keep talking about. We're just looking at everything through the tunnel, our Punjabi tunnel. First, people must grow their hair. First, people must tie jude, must put Kange, Kachere, Karpanna, after that come to the Panjapyare and ask for Amrit, then you can become a Sikh. Very fascinating how we made a khichdi out of this. That was for the Khalsa. This form that is given by our Guru, Dasme Padshah Ji, was for the Khalsa. It was not for the common human being. For the common human being is what our 10 Gurus preached around the world, wherever they went. Guru Tegh Bahadur went all the way to Assam, everywhere. All of this we already know and have heard of. So now this is the problem. From the universal world view of Guru Nanak, we made it into a Punjabi world view. That's how it has become stunted. It has become restricted. Recently, I even heard, no, never mind, it will become a separate topic for a future time. Then the other thing is, as I have mentioned in my previous video, we've made this dharma into a samurai religion. So now we are like, some kind of samurais from the 16th, 17th century walking around in the 21st century. Our mentality is that, I already mentioned in my previous recording, we are still fighting Mughals in our mind. You look at the number of celebrations we have throughout the year, or days that we mark throughout the year, mostly are Shahidiyan. We don't celebrate anything else beside that. You know how many days, beautiful days there could be if we go back and look into our history on the certain days where certain teachings were given out, certain events took place, so many beautiful, but no. Appa Shahidiyan hi manai jani hai. Except for Guru Nanak Dev Ji's Avtar Dihada, and maybe for some places here and there, some Guru Gobind Singh Ji's Avtar Dihada, everything else is a Shahidi. No focus on anything else. So this battle with the Mughals, we are still fighting the Mughals. Okay, that's the next one. Now, so the Sikhi, the image that is out there, when I think of, if you want to ask me to give you an analogy, I give you an analogy like that. In Africa, they have the Maasai tribes, Maasai and the Zulus. Now, if you ask me who is a Maasai and who is a Zulu, all I know is he's a warrior. The picture comes to my mind straight away is somebody carrying a shield made of rhino or elephant hide and a long thin spear. This is the image that I have of a Maasai or Zulu. He may have the most beautiful religion on this world. I know nothing about his religion. The image in my mind is the spear and the shield. That very interesting shaped shield that they have. Like the native Indians in America. What do you and I know about what we call the Red Indians of America? They are like some kind of fighters, bows and arrows. They are good riders, and cowboys in Indian stories. Always cowboys win, Indians lose. That's all I know. But over the last 10 years that I started to read a little bit about their religion is, I would say, so advanced. Their understanding of God is the Great Spirit. They have different words, the Great Spirit, and their religion is so beautiful that they live in perfect harmony with nature. They live in perfect harmony with nature. Everything that they do, whatever they take from nature, even the bison, their basic staple food was the bison. They hunted the bison. Even before they slaughter the bison after the hunt, before the hunt, they already pray to God and offer their apology to the bison and say, we have to hunt you for our survival. We pray for you and please forgive us for what we are about to do. And then before they slaughter, they again pray for the soul of the bison. You know, they are in so much harmony with nature. But I didn't know any of these things. All I knew was cowboys and Indians. They shoot arrows, they sometimes get the cowboys sometimes get them. That's all I knew. And this is how the world sees us. And we got to understand this. If any one of us is living in a delusion, in a dream, time to wake up. The world doesn't see anything more than that. If I show you some of the covers of the books that I have, you know, when we write a book, what cover do we put? A picture of a Nihang on the front page, or a picture of some children with swords and knives. And so our whole marketing is. So let's move on a little bit now. See, we really need to reframe. We really need to reframe our own understanding of what is Sikhi. We ourselves are lost. ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਕਿਰਪਾਨਾਂ ਤਲਵਾਰਾਂ ਤੇ ਮੁਗਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਜੰਗ ਯੁੱਧ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਾ ਫਸੇ ਬੈਠੇ ਹਾਂ. ਅਸੀਂ ਅਜੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਬੈਠੇ ਹਾਂ. As a matter of fact, now that I said it that way, ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਣੀ ਹੈ. Going back to 2002, 2003, something like that, there was a Sammelan held. And because of, there were some visitors had come from the UK. I remember very clearly because eventually we turned out to be very good friends. There was one Sikh young man, maybe 10-20 years younger than me, and we were standing in the line. I was waiting to have my langar, waiting for my turn to be served. He was about 3-4 spaces behind, and then he for some reason came up to me, and we have never met. Obviously, he's from UK, and he told me, he says, Virji, I want to tell you something. I said, what? I think I may have done a Kirtan session just before that, or maybe the day before, or something like that. So maybe he saw me as some leader in this group or something like that. I don't know why he wanted to come and tell it to me. And he said, you know, if today, he was from London obviously, so from what he's going to say, if today Guru Gobind Singh, let's say there's a match going on, there's a huge match going on, call it football, call it kabaddi or whatever, and it's in Wembley Stadium, and the whole Wembley is full of Sikhs. The whole Wembley Stadium is full of Sikhs who have come to cheer. And he says, suddenly, in the middle of the match, Guru Gobind Singh appears. You know what he's going to say? I said, what? He said, he's going to say, ਮੈਂ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਨਾ 300 ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਹੁਰਿਓ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਖੜੇ ਹੋ. I was taken aback because, you know, he had the Nihang look, you know, he had the Nihang type turban, and you know, I am usually a bit, okay, you know, because as I told you, my views have become very different from the stereotype Sikh person, the very religious looking type person, you know. So that was the last thing I expected from him. He said, Guru Gobind Singh Ji aaye, suddenly appears in Wembley Stadium, walks up to the microphone and says, मैं जिथे तुहानू छड्ड के गया सी तुसी उत्थे ही खड़े. Very interesting statement. Later on we became very good friends. When I used to fly to London, we used to meet up. Some of the talks and all that were arranged by him for me, by the group from there, and so on and so forth. I just wanted to mention that this is our reality. This is our reality. We are still stuck there. We are not in the 21st century at all. We are not. I don't want to go into the examples now. I have planned a separate session just for the examples why we refuse to shift, we refuse to move. It's time to move the goalpost. But we refuse to move it. Okay, so there we are. Basically, the way to describe it is like we are looking for an address in New York, but we are carrying a map of London from the 16th century. We are looking for an address, we are looking for the results in New York, we are looking for an address in New York, wondering why our children, wondering why our Nojwans, our Gurdwaras are empty, where is everyone, why is this, why is that, why is Patatpuna, why this, all this and that is going on. But what map do we want to use to look for our solution? A map of London, looking for an address in New York, and the map of London is about 300 years old. Let me now go on to, I just want to trigger this little bit here, okay. I'm going to show you this. You all know that is Ek Onkar. Actually and I'm going to show you this, and that you all know is the Khanda. Why am I showing you this? Because everywhere you go, almost everywhere you go, this has become the emblem of Sikhi. Guru Nanak never even saw that. How did this become the emblem of Sikhi? When Guru Nanak's entire life, he preached one God, one world, one humanity. एक करतार, एक संसार, एक परिवार. आ किवें बन गया साडा? एक ही है, एक खालसे दा निशान है. All weapons. How does all weapons fit into Guru Nanak Dev Ji's universal worldview? How is this relevant in Guru Nanak Dev Ji's worldview? This is a military insignia. This is a military coat of arms. It was meant for the Khalsa. The Khalsa are entitled to use this. Every uniform unit anywhere in the world will have a coat of arms which they will either wear here or they will wear it as a patch here, whether you're a police force, whether you're army, whether you're ambulance, whether you're fire department, whether you're coat of arms. That signifies, this is an insignia for a soldier, for a warrior. ਇਹਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਪੰਥ ਦਾ ਨਿਸ਼ਾਨ ਬਣਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ. ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਸੀ ਇਸ ਦਾ. ਸਾਡੇ ਨਿਸ਼ਾਨ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਨ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ. ਸਾਡੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, I had a beautiful experience when we went for the World Championship, the pipe band World Championship in Glasgow Gurdwara, the new Gurdwara, their central Gurdwara. Huge Ek Onkar, all corners of the main tower that they have. It's so beautiful. God is one written below it. I remember I went out there, the minute I saw it, I pulled out my camera, I took at least 8 or 10 pictures from different angles. I was so happy to see that. The Khanda is the people who are entitled to use the Khanda are basically the Sevadars of the Panth, the full-time Sevadars, those who have taken a commitment. They have made a stand. They wear the Khanda. Of course, we all can wear the Khanda. Of course, we can all use the Khanda. It's apna hi hai, fair we. But the point I am trying to make is, you cannot use a insignia of weapons and tell people, if you follow this religion, you are going to have peace. You are going to find peace. Is there a match? Is there a match? 3 different weapons here. 2 karpana hai, vich khanda hai, vich teesra chakkar hai. How does this fit into a religion that was supposed to bring harmony and love into this and unite the world? Tell me. We want to unite. Guru Nanak wants to unite humanity, wants to show humanity that we are all one family, but he gives us an insignia of weapons. this set of weapons here was to inspire the warrior in us when the time comes to be warriors. And the time to be a warrior, for certain people, as I told you, ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਸੇਵਾਵਾਂ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਵਾਰੀਅਰ ਬਣਨਾ ਪਏਗਾ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਗਰੀਬਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸਕੂਲ ਬਣਾਉਣੇ ਪੈਣਗੇ, ਗਰੀਬਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਘਰ ਬਣਾਉਣੇ ਪੈਣਗੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੈਲਟਰ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦਵਾਈਆਂ ਚਾਹੀਦੀਆਂ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਔਰ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਕਿਤਾਬਾਂ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਇਹ ਕੰਮਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਵਾਰੀਅਰ ਬਣਨਾ ਪਏਗਾ, ਵਾਰੀਅਰ। ਉਦੋਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਇਹ ਕੰਮ ਆਏਗਾ। ਇਹਨੂੰ ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰਿਆ ਜਾਵੇ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਖੰਡਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ। ਐਵੇਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਥੱਪਣ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਨਾ। ਜੇ ਥੱਪਣਾ ਹੈ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਥੱਪੀਏ, ਇੱਕ ਓਂਕਾਰ। ਵੀ ਆਰ ਆਲ ਵਨ। ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਆ। ਸਾਰਾ ਜਗਤ ਸੰਸਾਰ ਇੱਕ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਹੈ। ਸਾਡੇ ਬਾਬੇ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਮੱਤ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ। ਆਵਰ ਨਿਸ਼ਾਨ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸ਼ੁੱਡ ਬੀ ਦਿਸ, and there are gurdwaras that are flying nishan sahibs with this. I have seen them. I have already given you examples what I saw in Glasgow. Badai hove. I'm so proud of them. As a matter of fact, jade Glasgow, UK, anywhere area de vich rehnde ne, please go to that central gurdwara. Even inside the gurdwara, jadiyan tasveeran unhone laiyan, jade messages unhone utte likhe hai, oh is tarah di vocabulary main hor kite nahi dekhi. इतनी ब्यूटीफुल वोकैबुलरी दे हैव अंडरस्टूड भी इत्थे गोरे लोग भी आउणगे, इत्थे होर धर्मां दे लोग भी उन्होंने भी आना है। द लैंग्वेज, द वर्डिंग इज सो ब्यूटीफुली प्लेस्ड। I took so many pictures, everything I took pictures. It was a breath of fresh air for me. मैनू हौसला हो गया जो मैं वो चीज़ वेखी। मेरा दिल करे मैं पूछा भी तुहानू किन्ने इंस्पायर किया इस गुरुद्वारे नू, कौन इंस्पिरेशन सी इस गुरुद्वारे के पिछे। ये सेंट्रल गुरुद्वारा बहुत सब तो बड़ा गुरुद्वारा ग्लासगो का। So this is what we need to study and start implementing, how certain people are getting it right. They are understanding it. If I can, in this video, I might actually insert some of the pictures that I might have taken of the Gurdwara. Let me see if I can do that. So here we are. I wanted to highlight this. Even in interfaith meetings and all, I am seeing pamphlets carrying the wrong symbol. Interfaith the symbol which aa hona chahiye siga, weapons. I myself had to correct in Malaysia the national interfaith, interfaith wali jehdi group hai, ona they have carrying all the religious emblems on their what you call logo or whatever. I had to mention to them that this is not. This is a very private for our Khalsa. This is special. Insignia is a coat of arms. Is for the Khalsa. The symbol of our faith is this. Can you please make the correction? And they did it. And they said, we are very grateful to you. Thank you for explaining the difference. Your people are the one who gave this to us. And they didn't know the difference. And they seem to have given us the wrong one. So here we are. For today, let's leave it here. And after this, I'm going to start getting into a little bit more discussion regarding details. And I'm going to now start talking about the Sikh Rahat Maryada. The Sikh Rahat Maryada, I think I got it lying somewhere here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's on my table, I think, behind me. We are going to start talking about that. That has to be addressed. Thank you very much. Satnam.